Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2015 Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of Junior Achievement of Washington, David Moore.
We are definitely having a good time tonight. If everybody could go to your seats, we want to get this started. It's going to be a great evening, I promise you. I promise you. It is my pleasure tonight. I want to actually introduce Marnie because she has been such a great friend to Junior Achievement. If you have not watched her as on the evening news, Q13 Fox anchor, co-anchor, she is brilliant. She is elegant. She is, can I say stunning, Marnie? She is one of our great media people in this community, and she is going to be emceeing and working with us in tonight's event. So please, a very large round of applause for Marnie Hughes.
Wow, he surprised me with that introduction. We weren't going to do those things tonight. In fact, I don't take compliments well, and someone recently, very recently, in fact, this week told me when someone pays you a compliment to tell them happy birthday to deflect, so happy birthday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know everybody has very busy lives, but I think that a packed room is evidence in how important tonight is and how special it is, and it really is something that we all look forward to every year, and it's been going on for a number of years. My name, again, Marnie Hughes with Q13 Fox, and I am the evening co-anchor on the weeknight evenings with David Rose and Matt Lorch. You can catch us many, many times each evening at 4, 5, 9, 10, and newly launched 11 o'clock show. So we give you lots of opportunities to catch us. This is my fourth year emceeing and having the pleasure of being here for the Hall of Fame and meeting so many new people and seeing some old friends. So it is truly a pleasure to be here, and I'm thankful that you guys are here tonight as well. We've got a great program in store as we celebrate the lives and the achievements of some truly remarkable individuals. One of the real treats tonight is to introduce you to JA students, and I know that as you walked in, you probably saw some students, and I hope you had a chance to talk to some of them. But what tonight also provides us, in addition to the laureates and meeting and hearing their stories, is meeting the JA students and really seeing the impact that they have. And it's really the bringing together of two worlds. You have these entrepreneurs and these successes in business in our community, and you have these young people who are ready to be inspired. And I think that because they're here tonight, and you'll hear some of them, they are ripe for the taking. And that is, and by that I mean hiring. So if you see anybody tonight who you may think fits your business mold, go for it, because they truly are some really great kids, and they want to succeed. Leading up to this event each year, it is an honor at Q13. Marty Gustafson, my colleague, always finds me somewhere in the building, and he says, "Hey, Marnie, I've got the laureate videos ready for you to track." And it's a pleasure to put my voice to these videos, which you'll be able to see in just a little while. But what I love most, one, I'm a news person, so I like to have the information first. So I get to find out who's going to be inducted. And two, hearing their stories, not just because they are successful business people, but the laureates each year are successful in life, which is why they have earned their way into this dinner and into many of our hearts and lives. Quick note about the involvement of JA in this event, and my personal involvement in JA. I've been, like I said, I've been at this event for the last 4 years. Also, we've been at the Dare to Dream together. I see a lot of faces from that event. But when I was a kid, I heard a lot about JA. Unfortunately, I was not in JA, and when I hear all the stories about how much they learn about balancing a checkbook, I wish I had been. But neither here nor there. My dad, though, was involved with JA, and in his business life, he was a leader in his company, and he was also a mentor to many JA students. And he used to come home and tell me about some of these kids and their inspiring stories. And I think what left such an impact on me was that they ended up inspiring him, which I know many of you in this room agree with, happens through the course of these relationships, is the students end up inspiring the mentors. So JA is truly remarkable, and it sets these kids on a path to success by partnering up with successful people in their communities. Maybe it's somebody who lives on their street, maybe it's a stranger who comes into their school and gives a speech, and it's like right then they know this is my moment. So tonight, these two worlds are coming together to honor great champions of industry, and we're introducing them to the generation of aspiring young entrepreneurs who are with us tonight. For those of you who have attended before, one of the highlights is the dramatic change that takes place in JA students, and it really is dramatic, that moment that I talk about when it clicks. And a lot of these kids have maybe been met with a challenge in their life. Maybe they haven't had a leader to look up to, and you really see that dramatic change happen through the course of JA and some of the opportunities that it provides. And part of the reason that we have so many opportunities is because we live in this great country. The United States of America is someplace I personally am so proud to be from. I recently traveled abroad, and I couldn't wait to get home. It's great to have a cultural experience, but you really do appreciate what you have at home. And I know Jeff Brotman tonight will tell you that there is no better place than America to start a business. Costco thrives in the United States of America, values free enterprise, and we need to make sure that we keep those principles and instill those principles in all new businesses to help them succeed. So what better way to get tonight started than to celebrate our great country, the United States of America, a great nation to live in, a great nation to work in, and a great nation to achieve and chase your dreams. Joining us to present the flag and also to sing the national anthem are some very courageous young people from the Washington Youth Academy. They're also a partner of JA. Many of the students who attend the Washington Youth Academy were once on the verge of dropping out of school. They were met with many challenges, significant personal challenges and hardships. all the way along their path to success. And in both JA and at the Washington Youth Academy, at-risk youth are really met in their time of need, and that's when you find the success. And junior achievement really thrives in that demographic, which you all know. This year, every student at the Washington Youth Academy will have the opportunity to experience JA Finance Park, and they will learn essential skills of budgeting, financial management, balancing the checkbook, learning how to be a CEO, learning how to be a good employee, learning how to be productive in a business and a team player. It is now my honor to introduce the Washington Youth Academy Honor Guard to present the flag of the United States of America, and then following the presentation of the colors, Washington Youth Academy cadet Lily Lee will be joining us to sing the national anthem. So will you all please rise for this special moment? You may be seated. Thank you so much, Lily, and also to the Honor Guard for the presentation of the flag. It always gives me chills to see that happen. And now a prayer of appreciation will be led by Linwood High School and JA student Cassius Berhanu. Please help me in joining him.
Thank you, Marnie, for offering me this opportunity to express gratitude tonight. I hope it's okay if I can share a few thoughts. I'm very fortunate to be born here in Seattle in 1997, and I appreciate so much the life I have enjoyed here in America. But I wanted to return to my family's homeland in Ethiopia. And when I returned there, I was shocked at what I saw. My eyes were open to the extremely challenging conditions for young people in other parts in the world. What I've experienced was heartbreaking. I saw poverty in the streets, children without the hope and opportunities we have here. I always wished that I can bring all of them here to America to have that opportunity to become someone. Because you never know where the next legend came from. It might be from a small town or a terrible country. So when I came back to Seattle, I really appreciated even more the benefits and freedom that this great nation has to offer. Junior Achievement taught me and inspired me that if I work hard and have a plan, I can create prosperity in myself here and those back in Ethiopia. That's my life dream and goal now, besides becoming an actor. Junior Achievement has given me a new life dream and goal. So I want personally to thank all of you who support Junior Achievement. So it is my pleasure to ask that we all pause and express our gratitude. Dear God, we thank you for bringing us together for an evening of celebration as we recognize the lives of 3 individuals who have made our community a better place. We are grateful that the determination, imagination, and entrepreneurial spirit of Mr. Brotman, Mr. Senegal, and Mr. Juarez has made a positive difference to so many in this world. As a young person, it is my prayer that we will have a greater appreciation for the lives of those who have helped make this nation so great. We ask that you continue to bless America. Bless us to apply the hard work, ethics, innovation, and generosity that have always been the hallmarks of the American way of life. We also thank you for the wonderful meal we're about to receive. Amen.
Great job, Cassius. Thank you. I picked the wrong dress to wear up these stairs tonight, I tell you what. Whoever's in the front row, you catch me? Will you? Yes, you. Thank you. All right, Junior Achievement, it has such a great history, and so does this event. So let's take a moment just to kind of talk about how we got here today. It is a rich history. The Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame started in 1987. Show of hands, anybody who was here in 1987 for the initial Puget Sound Business Journal Hall of Fames. Laureates, yes, a round of applause. Today, the Business Journal is recognized as one of America's Best business publications. Go anywhere, ask anybody, it's true. We all know if you want to know the real story, if you want to know the real story and you are looking for in-depth coverage, business coverage, the best in-depth business coverage in the country, the Puget Sound Business Journal is the best source. And I say that every year, and I truly do believe it. As a journalist, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, the Business Journal is someplace that I look to find the stories they're covering, to find out what's happening in the business world, and find out what I missed, maybe. So we thank them for that and for raising the bar. We are pleased tonight to have representatives from the Puget Sound Business Journal with us, including its publisher, Gordon Prouty. Gordon has truly distinguished himself as a leader, not only in this community, but a leader in the business world and recognized here and also nationally with his vision and also his commitment to quality. In fact, Gordon was here tonight just making sure that everything went off without a hinge hours ago. And truly it is a success, and it's just a testament to how focused he is on quality. So please join me in welcoming the always dapper Gordon Prouty.
Oh, Marnie, the real truth that I was here 2 hours earlier is I just wanted to get out of the office, so there's that. We're here tonight to pay tribute to the accomplishments of 3 individuals whose business achievements have altered the face of our region and beyond this region. They're selected through a rigorous process and vetted by an illustrious mix of current business leaders and past laureates. At this time, I want to recognize the 2015 Laureate Selection Committee and ask them to please stand, those of you who are here tonight, to be recognized. The selection committee consisted of Herb Bridge, Kirby Kramer, John Fluke, Mike Flynn, Woody House, Neil McReynolds, David Moore, and Pam Reynolds, and Pam Pearson. You've done an outstanding job this year, and it was a privilege to work with all of you, so I thank you for your hard work. The Junior Achievement Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame recognizes the very best of entrepreneurship, something the Puget Sound Business Journal showcases and highlights in our weekly editions and every day on our website. You know, it's our 35th anniversary actually just last week, and we're celebrating it this month. And one of the partnerships that we are most proud of is that partnership that we have with Junior Achievement in this event. So at this time, I want to give you a round of applause to Junior Achievement for all that they do. I also want to take a moment, and I'd like to ask Mike Malone from Hunter Capital, who's sitting over there, if he would please stand. Through his generosity, he sponsors over 100 subscriptions of the Puget Sound Business Journal for Junior Achievement students so that they can get the gift of local business intelligence. And it's very generous, and we appreciate all that he does, so I wanted to say thank you for that. Tonight, each laureate will receive 2 very special awards. One is a plaque from the Business Journal that features a printer's plate of their article that's in the special publication that we did on the Hall of Fame. You each have a copy of that at your tables this evening, and I encourage you to read that. And 2, a very unique award commissioned with Athletic Awards. It's a prism that represents the 3-sided partnership of Junior Achievement's economic education programs: business, education, and America's young people. As this tribute takes place tonight, please consider the values that each of our laureates embodies as symbolized by an eternal flame: the spirit of leadership and free enterprise. A very, very special group has been selected as the 2015 laureates: Jeff Brotman, Jim Sinegal, and Jean Juarez. John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you are a leader." The laureates we honor tonight truly are leaders. I thank you all, and enjoy this evening.
Thank you, as always, Gordon. We'd like to extend a very special thanks to all of you who are here tonight, and also to our past laureates. We have a number of past laureates who are in the audience tonight, and we appreciate their support each year, because without you, this legacy doesn't continue. This is our 28th Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame, as I mentioned, 1987, and each year we look forward to recognizing the new class and also thanking the past classes. And so, as I mention your name, and we also have representatives from some of the past laureates here tonight, I ask that you stand so that we can properly recognize you here this evening. Representing 1988 laureate John M. Fluke are his sons John Fluke and David Fluke. Representing 1998 laureate Stanley O. McNaughton is his son Stan McNaughton. Also joining us tonight is 2007 laureate Bob Ringenberg. Bob, where are you? There we go. 2013 laureate Mike Flynn is with us tonight as well. Mike? And another member of the class of 2013 is here, laureate Woody House. And from our most recent class of laureates, please welcome 2014 Hall of Fame laureate Chuck Barbo. We thank you all so much for being here and taking part in this evening. And now we would like to take a moment of pause to remember a laureate of our past and also honor 1996 Business Hall of Fame laureate Herman Sarkowski. Unfortunately, Herman passed away late last year, so let's take just a quick moment to remember and honor Herman. Mr. Sarkowski was a business icon in Seattle and in the Northwest for 70 years. He was a philanthropist, successful real estate developer, and also a successful businessman, and part of the original ownership group for the Seattle Seahawks. We wish to extend our condolences tonight to his wife, Faye Sarkowski. We are honored to count Herman as part of the laureate family for the Puget Sound Business Journal Hall of Fame. So we thank Herman and we honor all of his successes tonight. I would also like to thank our many sponsors tonight, because we are all very familiar that without them, many of these evenings are not possible. So I do apologize, but I'm going to read through these and give these sponsors the recognition they so much deserve. Beginning with our media sponsor, I guess we should start with that. I didn't write this, but I'll go with it. Q13 is, I would like to say on behalf of myself and all of my colleagues, we are proud to be a part of Junior Achievement and also with the Puget Business Journal's Hall of Fame and this event and all of the events. It has truly been an honor. And representing Q13 Fox, the Senior Vice President and General Manager, Pam Pearson. Pam, thank you. I see you here tonight. You look amazing. Amazing. I'm not just saying that because you're my boss. You do look great, as always. From the moment I met Pam, I knew that JA was something very important to her, and it's important to me as well. And so thank you, Pam, and to all of my team. And as I mentioned before, very soon you'll get to see some of those laureate videos, and my colleagues did a great job putting those together, so thank you. We would also like to recognize our gold sponsor, Alaska Airlines, represented by its CEO and president, Brad Tilden. You'll also get to see and hear from Brad a little bit later tonight. Thank you also to our gold sponsor, U.S. Bank, represented by Terry Jones, U.S. Bank South Sound Market President. And a warm thank you to our silver sponsors. Silver sponsor BECU is represented by CFO and Senior Vice President of Finance and Administration, Kathy Elzer. Silver sponsor Boeing is represented by Director of Operations, Boeing Research and Technology, Anthony Matoyer. Silver sponsor Jean Juarez, Salons and Spa. Oh, Jean. You brought your friends. And they look lovely. All those blowouts. And I should mention, Jean Juarez is represented tonight by Daniel Kosh, Executive Vice President. Thank you. And a thank you as well to our silver sponsor, KPMG, represented by Managing Partner Mark Gibson. And closing out our silver sponsors are Benaroya and also GoDaddy. So thank you tonight to all of our sponsors for being here, for your support, not just for tonight, but throughout the year for JA and for the Hall of Fame. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you a man who I think was born to do the job that he is doing. He not only is passionate about junior achievement, but he truly is passionate about the kids and the students' lives that he's impacting. In fact, in getting ready for these events, I often get to meet with this gentleman and talk to him about some of the students, and he just lights up the room when he tells you about these kids and their stories, and to be able to share that. He truly is a torch, and he is an advocate for kids in our community making a difference. And he is the JA of Washington President David Moore, and I'm proud to call him my friend. David, come on up.
I'm still trying to figure out what a blowout is, Gene. I'm gonna get educated, I'm sure. I want to tell you something tonight that I would be remiss if I didn't tell you. Some of the young people tonight, I mean, they are so excited to be here. They are so enthused to hear the stories that are about to be told. And we selected special students this year. And I say special because each of these young people have overcome some very big and challenging circumstances in their life to get to where they are today. And I can't really tell you the whole story. They're going to tell a little bit of their story, but some of these kids dropped out of high school or dropped out of school as early as the 11 years of age. They had little hope. They wanted to, the way that they increased their optimism and their excitement about the future was through junior achievement. And Don Ide, who is a teacher here tonight. Where's Don? Don Ide, a shout out to Don Ide. He is probably one of the most inspiring educators I've ever met in my life, who inspires these kids to think big, to dream big dreams. And he's actually selected the students that you're going to meet tonight. And I've already heard from Jim Senegal and Jean Juarez and Jeff Brotman about the students that have been with them tonight and how important they already are to them. And so tonight you're going to hear some kids who have really come through some great challenges. I recently had the great opportunity to visit with Brandon Bastide, who is the Executive Director of K-12 Education Polling for Gallup. And he said, you need to know what we're about to release, because it is staggering, a statistic that all of the business community should understand and know about. We're finding that through our polling, kids are most excited about their future when they're in the 5th grade. The boys are more excited than the girls, but by the time they reach their senior level in high school, they're at their very lowest level of optimism about the future. They're in many ways feel defeated that they may not get to dream the dreams that they want to get to. But the kids you will meet tonight are the kids where many of you in this room, have gone into the classroom and shared your success stories. And tonight, they're so hungry to hear about the lives of the champions that are about to be presented in a few minutes. I'm going to introduce now Danielle Bird, who is Executive Vice President with Umpqua Bank. Some of you know her story. And even as a child, she had challenging circumstances that she overcame. So many of us in the room may not share those stories, but that's us too. And so tonight, I really want you to sit back, enjoy it, appreciate how far these kids have come, and also appreciate how much they've inspired by the laureates that are sitting before us tonight. So please welcome Danielle Bird with Umpqua Bank.
Well, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Cassius. I don't know where you are, but you mentioned that you have a dream of being an actor, and I think you should add comedian and great public speaker to that list. Very, very talented, Cassius. Very talented. Well, I'll tell you, I have the great privilege of having been asked to chair the board of directors for Junior Achievement for the last 2 years. And I have been this year a volunteer with Junior Achievement for 20 years. And it has been, thank you. It has been one of the highest privileges of my life to be involved with this organization, to meet these outstanding young people. And for those who were at the Celebrate JA breakfast, you heard a little bit about my personal story. But I'll tell you, it takes a village to raise every kid. And it takes all of us as a business community to take our collective talents and our passions to reach out and inspire our young people. When you look at that Gallup poll and you see that optimism that we all are born with, that idea that we can do anything, for some reason, we're losing our kids. We're losing them. And I'll tell you, it's not just the kids where it's obvious. If you were to have seen me in high school, I was a cheerleader, I had great grades, I was very enthusiastic, and for those who know me, I'm always very enthusiastic. But I'll tell you, I was one of those kids who needed Junior Achievement. I grew up in a family, a single-parent family. We grew up on welfare. My mom was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I was on my own at 15. And I didn't want anybody to know. And so I still continued to go to school, and I continued to strive. And getting great grades and working hard in school wasn't because I saw a great future for myself. It was out of fear because I didn't know what else to do. And luckily, there were great parents of friends and other people that encouraged me, showed me that there was a path to college. But I'll tell you, I was one of those kids that needed Junior Achievement. I needed somebody to tell me that I could make it and that my dreams were possible. And luckily, I struggled through and I found my way. But I'll tell you, we serve today 108,000 kids across the state of Washington. There are very few organizations, thank you. Thank you. There are very few organizations that have the privilege of serving 108,000 kids, but I'll tell you, we have 1 million children in K through 12 education across the state of Washington. So we're only serving a tenth of those kids. And the board members here in the room know that I've been pushing them really hard the last 2 years. And Mark Gibson, who's taking over for me in 75 days, Mark, and you're going to be challenged because I'm not letting up on this. We have 1 million kids in the state of Washington that desperately deserve to have Junior Achievement. And what Junior Achievement does, for those who are not aware, is it brings all of you into classrooms. You share your passion for what you do. You share your personal stories. You inspire them. You help them to see that their futures and dreams are possible. We also teach financial literacy. We teach budgeting. We teach all of those economic skills that it takes to be able to understand our world and survive and thrive in it. But I ask each and every one of you to look into your hearts and think about that mentor that helped you to see your greatness, that person who helped you to see that anything was possible. And each and every one of you can be that person to help us know, help our kids know that everything is possible for them. So with that, I'm very excited to introduce you to a very, very special student that's here today. But before I do that, I have to share with you that we have an incredible partnership with Taco Bell. And Taco Bell knew and understood that the key to every child's future is an incredible education. And that starts with graduating high school, but it doesn't stop there. We have so many kids with insurmountable challenges that they face every day, and those kids need help getting to college. Not only do they need inspiration, but they need to know that there's financial resources that can help some of those kids that are struggling to make ends meet on a day-to-day basis. So the student that I'm getting ready to introduce you to is our first ever Taco Bell Foundation Junior Achievement Scholarship winner. Very exciting, and this scholarship is renewable every year she is in college, and you will hear her story and you will very quickly understand why Daniela Marguies is incredibly, incredibly deserving of this incredible honor. So with that, Daniela, pleased to introduce you and bring you to the stage.
Can you see me? Okay. Good evening, and thank you, Ms. Bird, for your kind words. What an amazing honor to be here tonight to present the 108,000 Washington youth who will benefit from JA's programs in 2015. For me, I can say with certainty, they are life-changing programs. So the first thing I want to share with you tonight is that I have come to love high school. These last 4 years, thank you. Thanks. These last 4 years of my high school journey have been the hardest yet most accomplished years of my life. I am so proud of my family as we have met financial hard times with courage and optimism. I am here standing today as a senior in high school with graduation waiting for me around the corner. The most important reason for my love for high school is my involvement with junior achievement and because of my parents. When I was just a little girl, my parents would always talk to me about attending a university. My mother would always say, "Tú nunca te irás de esta casa hasta que tu diploma esté colgado en mi pared." Which translates to, "You will not leave my roof until the day your bachelor's diploma is hanging on my wall." Thank you. Since I was just a little girl, I knew university was definitely a must in my life, without a doubt. As I grew up, I began to understand more and more why they were so insistent about advanced education. My mom had a much harder financial situation than I have ever faced. When she was young, my mom had to learn how to cut hair at just the age of 10 in order to help my grandmother at her hair salon. My mom, being the eldest out of her 2 other siblings, and without a father, she had to be the father figure in her family. She started working harder every day for money to support the family, and she attended school at the time as well. Soon she had to drop out of middle school to bring food to the table day by day and afford the roof they needed to live under. My mom's aspirations of being a doctor or a lawyer and higher education quickly vanished into thin air. My father, on the other hand, was unfortunate to have lost his father at only age 11, requiring his mother to handle 9 of her children on her own. My dad had to drop out during high school because my grandma was not able to pay for school for all of her 9 children. Like my mother, he aspired to gain a career and further his education. They both loved to study. My parents have always cultivated in my sisters and I to embrace our education and attend a university no matter what obstacles comes along our path. So that is why we decided to move here to the United States. As an 11-year-old little girl, I had no idea such a change would affect us so deeply because we financially crashed when we first established in the United States. The very first years were the hardest to endure, and it still is. I remember my 2 parents and my 2 other sisters and I having to live in a 2-bedroom and 1-bathroom apartment with another family of 5. We had no furniture, nor silverware. We had to sleep on the floor with towels underneath to make it a little more bearable. And we had to eat on cardboard boxes while sitting on the floor. My mom would sometimes lie and say she would go buy milk, but would come back empty-handed, saying the store was closed or something of the sort. But later on, she confessed to us that the times she did that, she would actually go out and look for a job door by door and just cry so we wouldn't see her, because in reality, there was not even enough money for milk. I hated this phase of my life, and I wanted to just give up, and I hated school. The language acquisition and the lack of money and having to wear the same clothing every day, it was just the hardest and most overwhelming to take at just the age of 11. The transition between 8th and 9th grade was a crucial stage for me, for I always had in my mind I wanted to go into university. That has been my life goal. However, I started to get more and more discouraged because of our financial situation. My mother daily worked 10 hours, if not more, while my father did manual labor, mostly piecework. And my sister and I felt compelled to help our family, so we helped them. And I hated having to help, but I knew I had to do something for my family to help because that extra money was really necessary for us. After this, it became clear, and I started to notice the hardship my parents were going through, and I completely just wanted to quit and not try at school anymore. My big dreams of making my parents proud for being the first one to graduate high school and to go into college and to gain a career degree in our family all started to slip away from my fingertips. I stopped trying and was at the verge of quitting school and work to help my parents with money. But they kept pushing me through because they have never asked of me or any of my sisters to ever quit school to work, ever. So they kept pushing me through until in my sophomore year, I had my first business class with Mr. Ide. Mr. Ide, where are you? Thank you so much. He pulled me in and showed me the world of junior achievement, the turning point in my life. The turning point in my life began the moment I joined Junior Achievement and volunteered and collaborated with Junior Achievement events. From the Dare to Dream auction, to the Hall of Fame, to the JA Takeover Finance Park, all these events have deeply affected my life. JA didn't just encourage me to keep pursuing my all-time life goal of attending a university, but it made me just so involved with school in every way. I started studying more and more each day, going to the library almost every day right after school to study and get assignments done. And it has gotten me to where I am today. Here as a senior, starting my college classes through the Running Start program. Starting my college classes during high school was something I could never see myself doing. But here I am, starting courses to get closer to gaining my business degree thanks to JA. The field I aspire for. The things I have accomplished and the things that I have learned from JA, I will carry with me my whole life. Just by seeing the look on my mother's eyes, the pride she carries in them when I talk to her about my JA accomplishments and events, that's how I know that Junior Achievement has helped me get what I valued most ever since I was just a young little girl. Sorry. To make my parents proud and to receive my high school diploma and working very hard towards the completion. And the completion of my university studies. I'm thankful for my parents. Gracias, Daddy. Sorry. Okay. My mom was unable to attend because she's actually working. So, thank you, Mom. I love you so much. So thank you, parents. Okay, so now, sorry. All right, so I'm thankful for Junior Achievement, for their contribution to my life. And as Ms. Bird said, now, thanks to the Junior Achievement, I will receive a generous scholarship from the Taco Bell Foundation. And if I continue to work hard and study hard and get good grades, the Taco Bell Foundation will provide me with this generous scholarship all 4 years of university. Thank you, Taco Bell, and thank you again, Mr. Orem. It flipped my life around and my parents, so thank you. And thank you to all who are here tonight. And you are the people who will make JA accessible to so many kids here. Challenged youth, troubled youth with little hope, and even less optimism. You have the amazing opportunity to play a major role in providing students with the life-changing junior achievement experiences. I know I am going to be a success, but I really need to thank and to ensure more kids gain this confidence, this opportunity and drive, and this optimism about their futures. There are so many kids like me out there who need your help. I ask you to join me in my lifelong JA journey to inspire and encourage kids from all backgrounds to study hard, to dream big dreams and make those dreams a reality. Believe me, there really are so many kids out there whose lives can be changed. From the very, very bottom of my heart, I thank you all so very, very much. Thank you.
Daniela, I know she's talking to Don Ide right now, but I have two things. I got a lot out of hearing you speak, and two things I want to say to you. One is your English is impeccable, and you are already a success. You are, and you are an inspiration. And I think what strikes me about Daniela and so many of the JA student stories is they want to share their stories, and it takes a lot of bravery to get up here and to do that, and you did an amazing job, so thank you for that. And we're going to give you a few minutes so that you can enjoy your meal and also those around you, and we'll continue our program in a moment. But if you have the opportunity to reach out to one of the JA students who are here today, I know Russell's sitting right next to me, and so we've had a nice talk, but whether it be Daniela or Megan, who I know many of you who have met, or Lily, who sang, just find a student, if not now, before you leave tonight, and hear their story and share yours, and maybe make that connection. So enjoy your meal. We'll be back up here in just a few minutes. Thank you. think the news music is usually my cue. I know everybody's visiting, and I encourage that, but if you could kindly find your way back to your seat so we can continue with our program, that would be great. I think that's Jean. Hey, Jean Juarez. Jean. I'm going to call you Jean because I think that's how I'll get your attention. Hi. Your party's getting a little rowdy over there. We want to honor you. Thank you. All right, everybody, let's get this party started. This is the beginning of our presentation for the 2015 Hall of Fame laureates. And since Mr. Juarez, I named you personally, I think we should clear up the blowout thing. Yes. Okay. So I read about you, and so I'm going to do my best to paraphrase kind of your story here. But many years ago, you went to Europe, correct? And you learned how to blow dry women's hair in a way that we will never, ever be able to thank you enough for. It's called the blowout, and David's mind's in the gutter. But it truly did revolutionize women's hair, so I wanted to personally thank you for that. But a good blowout, and I told Erica, my boss, earlier tonight, I said a good blowout, you can go 2 or 3 days without washing your hair. It's true, right? I mean, if it's done right, everybody, yes, the women say, yes, it is. All right, with that, I shall continue. I digress. It is my honor tonight to introduce the chairman of the 2015 Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame. He is a great leader in running America's best airline. America's best airline. It's not just me who thinks that. In fact, not just me, Alaska Airlines has won the prestigious J.D. Power Customer Satisfaction Award 7 years in a row. Yes. It just so happens you've been in your job for about that same amount of time. So it's no wonder that the customers and the employees and also your community, which your company calls home, is so appreciative of all that you do. Alaska Airlines has a rich tradition with the Hall of Fame, as both Milt Colt and Bill Ayer have been inductees as laureates. Also, Alaska Airlines is a huge supporter of JA. It has been over the years as a legacy partner, so JA thanks you for that. In 2012, Alaska Airlines was awarded the Corporate Philanthropist of the Year Award. And tonight, Alaska, we asked them to put together a little video to showcase who they are, the character of the airline, and the impact they have on our community. So I'd like you to turn your attention to the screens, please.
Alaska 457 Seattle Tower, you are cleared to land runway 16 right. Welcome home.
Home is what matters to Alaska Airlines. Home is something we've built. It's something concrete, like our operations at SeaTac, employing over 6,000 in Seattle. It's enduring, like our all-Boeing fleet, and our commitment to our local economy. We constantly work to improve our home by doing what we believe is right. We lead the charge in sustainability, the in-flight experience, mileage program, award-recognized customer satisfaction, and giving back to our community. Our home gives us pride. It makes us fiercely independent and reminds us what it takes to survive and succeed in the Pacific Northwest. Home is something we serve. Whether we're going above and beyond for our Seattle area customers, sharing Northwest values with 100 destinations in the U.S. and beyond, we're taking an active role in local causes and charities. We rally for home. We yearn for it when we're far away. Home is where we turn to when we need inspiration in a tough spot. Every day, we're flying home to the people we love and the communities we serve. Alaska Airlines. It is our privilege to call Seattle home.
Great piece, very true, and a great company to call Northwest home. And now Russell Wilson, spokesperson, so it's great. Mr. Tilden, I had to tell him earlier tonight that I climbed out from under the rock I've been living under, and finally flew an Alaska Airlines flight as I went to visit family recently and had a great experience. And so I wrote down names that I need to pass along to you because everyone truly was great when I showed up way too late to the airport. I had to make my flight. Prior to his current role as CEO at Alaska Airlines, I have to do a brief introduction. I know Brad's ready. I gotta do it. You just go pace over there for a second. Prior to being CEO of Alaska Airlines, a role he has had since 2008, he was Executive Vice President of Finance and Planning. And he is really a person just in the last little while, especially today in working with some of these students, somebody who is doing what I've been talking about, is making that connection with these kids. And you have a very charismatic personality and really connect. So I would like you to join me in welcoming to the stage CEO of Alaska Airlines, Brad Tilden.
Thank you very, very much, Marty. What a fantastic night. Thanks, everybody, for coming. It is all of us at Alaska. It is our honor to represent this great city. I think Rich McCune, who audited Alaska for a long time, started when, Rich, in the late 80s or early 90s. He sort of knew I was a little anxious tonight, a little bit of nerves. He said, "Hey, Brad, no jokes about people falling asleep in the baggage hold." So, Rich, I really appreciate the sensitivity. Anyway, moving on. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here tonight to recognize these three laureates. The airline business, I think as many of you know, has its ups and downs. It's an exciting business. It hasn't always been good. In fact, there have been some dark days. If you go back to the 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it was pretty bleak. And a lot of our employees said to us, what kind of airline is Alaska going to be? And it was a hard question to answer. They would say, are we going to be the Nordstrom? All airlines had to get their costs down so that they could avoid bankruptcy. So are we going to be the Nordstrom of airlines? Are we going to be the Walmart of airlines? And we said to them, we're going to be the Costco of airlines. Yeah. And the way we think of that is fantastic products. They treat their people right. The products are delivered in an extraordinarily efficient fashion. Just a wonderful company. Mr. Sinegal was very kind, came out and spoke with us at least once and shared your wisdom and your strategy at Costco. And it does have a lot to do with who we are today. I think we mentioned, or we actually profiled Costco in our in-flight magazine at least twice as we sort of talked about our transformation. I want to come to Mr. Juarez in a minute, but I forgot to mention, Alaska comes by our involvement with JA Honestly. Tork Zubek, who's Managing Director of Financial Planning and Strategy now, was actually a regional director for JA for 3 years. Tork is here tonight with his wife, Jen. His hair is not blown out. But Tork, after going to, just the sort of guy he is, after going to Stanford College, gave 3 years to junior achievement and has been at Alaska now for 15 years or something. How much? 20? 14 years, yeah. And Mr. Juarez, I have had a chance to do some reading about you, and what an incredible career, what an incredible growth of your company and the things that you've been involved with the community. I'm anxious to actually learn more about you tonight, but congratulations to you as well. Finally, before we get into the program, I want to thank Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn, longtime publisher of the Puget Sound Business Journal. He is the one that presented this opportunity to me tonight. And Mike, I've already had a blast here with these kids and with this program, and I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank you for your terrific support of Alaska Air Group. All right, getting caught up. So tonight we're celebrating the lives of three great business champions. The common thread among all three is a commitment to employees and community. All credit their success to valuing employees and mentoring. This is a very special evening. I was thinking, what's the best way to honor their commitment to mentoring? And how about if we hear from 3 CEOs in training? 3 CEOs who could share their experience of what leadership really looks like. 3 fifth grade junior achievement CEOs. All 3 of these young emerging business leaders aspire to be the next Jeff Brotman, Jim Sinegal, or Gene Juarez, and I'd like to invite them up to come up right now. Please welcome my fellow CEOs, Samuel Abraham, the CEO of UW Medicine. Raise your hand, Samuel. Yu-Sung Jung, the CEO of McDonald's. I love McDonald's. And Prachi Tonk, the CEO of AAA of Washington. Samuel, you're first. Come on up here. Welcome, CEOs. Welcome, Samuel. You're all quite young to be CEOs. I think I'm supposed to move to this microphone. Tell me, how and where did you receive that title?
We are all graduates of J.A. BizTown, a real city with real businesses. And all real businesses need a CEO. So that is the job each of us had when we participated in the amazing J.A. program, J.A. BizTown.
So is it kind of like make-believe, sort of a pretend experience?
Seriously, Mr. Tilden? It was the real deal. What? If it were make-believe, would I possibly be standing here on stage at the Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame with one of the top CEOs in the country? This is bigger than real. This is amazing. So, Mr. Tilden, as the CEO of Alaska Airlines, an iconic Northwest brand, you're an inspiration to all us kids in JA. See, JA teaches us what it takes to plan, to dream, to even imagine what it takes to be the next Mr. Tilden, or the next Mr. Brotman, or the next Mr. Sinegal. And not to mention the man with style, with Seattle hair, Gene Juarez.
So tell us, how can we possibly be an inspiration to you?
For example, we learned from all CEOs. We learned a quote from Warren Buffett. He said, in the business world, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield. Not
true.
everything will always get done, and we look back and we see the opportunity cost, and we learn from your experiences. Now, as young, experienced CEOs, all we can do is look ahead into the future and try and make the best choices for our businesses. All of us kids need to see leaders like Jim Sinegal, Jeff Brotman, and Gene Juarez. They're role models. They will help us make our future brighter. As young CEOs, we can tell their story to other young people and help them understand the importance of hard work and education. These are the type of leaders that will help all of us discover the quality traits that we need to get the most in life to be a success.
You are an impressive young CEO, and you're so right, Samuel. How about a round of applause for him? Yu-Sung. Yu-Sung is CEO of McDonald's. That's not right. That isn't right at all, yeah. Yu-Sung, step on up. You have a portfolio under your arm. What could be so important that you have to have it in that portfolio?
This portfolio contains my CEO recipe for success. I learned this from Mr. Sinegal and Mr. Brotman. Do you want to see them?
Yes, please.
These are the same documents they created when they drew up their business plans on handwritten napkins over lots of cups of coffee. But these are my business plans as CEO of McDonald's, how I can create just a successful business.
So Yu-Sung, what did you write on your napkin business plan?
Mr. Tilden, I wrote so much. But as CEO of McDonald's, the main thing I learned is something you know very well.
What's that?
That is that your most important thing is your crew members. You need to treat them with respect. I learned without them, I cannot be a good CEO. They are everything, like family, or like an amazing team. Even though they took their breaks at J.A. Bissan way too long, they are still valued team members, and they are eager to learn.
I agree, Yusung, my fellow CEO. Our people are everything. They are the measurement of our success.
And I also learned how important it is to make your passion your life's work. If you do that, it's not like you have a job, but more of a purpose.
So Yusung, you have a passion for what you do does make your career rewarding. Do you have a passion?
I have many passions, but my number one passion is writing. I want to become a writer when I grow up.
That's wonderful, Yusung. I think you're going to be a fantastic writer. Good luck to you. You want this way or the other way? And Prachi, you had the distinction of being the CEO of AAA of Washington.
Yes, Mr. Tilden. And my number one advice to any CEO is to have good marketing. Just like at J.A. Viztown, in the beginning for my business, things were going slow. I mean, 0 customers.
Bummer.
So it was up to me to be creative and get customers to come to my business and create a word-of-mouth buzz. And when customers finally came to my business, I made sure they had the best of their visit and encouraged them to call other people to come to my business too.
Prachi, that is great advice, and I'm sure it's advice that our esteemed laureates would give to any business leader. Be creative on how you get customers to your business, then give them the best experience possible. Fellow CEOs Samuel, Yusung, and Prachi, thank you very much for the wonderful advice. We wish you the very, very best. And now it's time to induct the 2015 class of laureates to the Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame. Tonight's laureates, by all measures, are quite an illustrious group. It's my honor to introduce them to you tonight. Each of our laureates has a stellar history of being mentored and mentoring others. I'm going to be assisted by outstanding JA students who have spent time with each of these laureates. Our first student presenter is a high school senior who participated in JA Finance Park Financial Literacy Program. And he's a graduate of the Washington State Youth Academy. Please join me in welcoming Russell Matthews. All right, so let's see where we are. Good evening, Russell. Thank you for the help. You look quite distinguished.
Thank you.
Tell us about your uniform.
Well, as you can tell, it's not a tuxedo. But I can tell you this. It allows me to shine all the same. I have been very fortunate this year to be a part of 2 life-changing programs. One, of course, is JA. The other is the Washington Youth Academy.
Can you tell us how you got involved in those 2 programs?
I'd love to. They said you might ask me that question. So I thought about it. And to tell you the truth, it came to me like an epiphany. I mean, I just woke up one day after being checked out of the world, literally, checked out of the world in the basement room of my grandparents' house. And I thought to myself, if I want to be a success in life, I need to get to work on it now. I need to get disciplined and make a plan for the future. A friend told me about the Washington Youth Academy, and I enrolled.
So tell us how that experience helped make you who you are today.
The Academy?
Yeah.
We're put through a rigorous program to create a lifelong plan for success in every aspect of our lives. It is also where I had the opportunity to experience junior achievement. And these 2 programs together were life-changing. Now, I am so excited and optimistic about my future. I like to put it this way. The Washington Youth Academy taught me how to handle myself in the world. And JA taught me how to handle the world by myself. This whole self-efficacy concept is so important to anyone's success.
So in other words, you took control of your life. You're responsible for your future. That's great. What are your plans for the future?
Well, like our first laureate, Jeff Brotman, I have education at the very top of my life plan. Mr. Brotman told me that going to college should be your highest priority. I want to go to the University of Washington, and then upon graduation, I want to become an officer in the Air Force. That's a big dream for me. That is a very big dream for me, serving in the United States Air Force. You know, Mr. Brotman's father told him something like, it's okay to dream smaller dreams, but it's even better to dream big dreams.
Indeed. You are making education a priority and are dreaming big dreams, just like our first laureate, Mr. Jeff Brotman, who built Costco along with Jim Sinegal into the second largest retailer in the world. Let's turn our attention to the screen now to learn more about Mr. Brotman.
Jeff Brotman, co-founder of Costco, is a Tacoma native. He literally has retailing in his blood.
Well, growing up in Tacoma, as the son, cousin, nephew of many retailers, it was really an idyllic life because we were surrounded by family at all times. As kids, we all worked at the stores. That was part of the routine of the family. We were pretty much bounded to the work ethic at that time.
Jeff graduated from the University of Washington in 1964 and then UW Law School in 1967.
Part of our family obligation, if you will, was to get a higher education. Education was absolutely essential for my ability to succeed in business.
Starting with one store in Seattle in 1983, the Costco concept proved its appeal to shoppers around the world.
Well, Costco developed off of many napkins over many cups of coffee. And Jim and I would sit down and put together business plans, and we would change the business plans from time to time. And finally, what emerged was a plan to build a company, Costco.
I think a really defining characteristic is that when they founded that company, they were already very accomplished, experienced business people. They had a clear concept of what they wanted to do. And after that, once they had the concept in place, they simply did everything better than everybody else.
Yeah, the core concepts of Costco really are, one, we need to sell merchandise that is quality. We need to keep the cost down. We need to pay attention to expenses. We need to hire people and then keep them. We hire people for careers, not for jobs.
Well, growing up in small businesses, I learned a lot about how to treat employees. I was basically following the lead of my grandparents and my parents as to what was the right thing to do relative to the people who work for us. There weren't a lot of rules and regulations at that time. We just did what we thought was the right thing. We took care of them.
Of course, a key to Costco's success is to constantly strive for lower prices and higher wages.
The theory of lowering prices in difficult times or raising wages in difficult times was one that was antithetical to traditional retailing and to Wall Street.
Wall Street would often criticize Costco for paying too much because you could bring more to the bottom line, more earnings to shareholders, higher stock price. And one of the things I really enjoyed was the response that Costco would give to that kind of criticism, which was to absolutely ignore it.
By doing that, we could drive volume into the stores and to make more profit at the end of the day.
And he was right. Costco has constantly reduced prices to the point where people expect great prices when they walk in there.
And ultimately, I don't think anybody can really honestly quarrel with the values they have and the principles they've pursued because the success speaks for itself.
Costco's success is astronomical. I mean, it's the largest company in Washington. It's considered to be the second largest retailer in the United States. It's has the greatest reputation for employee relationships.
Costco's greatest assets are its people. That's always been the case since the day we started the business. We've been able to acquire talented people and keep them over many, many years. And we do that by treating them like family.
Jeff has had a major impact on the Washington economy. Costco has created thousands and thousands of jobs, enabling people to have prosperous families.
The free enterprise system was absolutely essential to our success. It has allowed us to do things that we could never have imagined doing, and it allowed us to do things here in the United States that we could never have done in any other country in the world. It paved the way for us to be successful. One of the things that I can relay to the junior achievement students here tonight is something that my dad told me many times. He said it's okay to dream small, but it's just as easy to have big dreams. The bigger the dream, the bigger the outcome.
And Jeff was certainly never afraid to dream big. 2015 laureate, Jeff Brotman.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing 2015 laureate, Mr. Jeff Brotman.
Well, thanks so much. I had lots of things to say, but how do you beat those kids? I don't get that. This is a problem. I'm having words to say. I just wanted to thank everyone. This is a great honor for us. Who would have ever guessed, Gene, when we were hanging out at Henry's off Broadway? None of you, except this side of the room, knows what that is. But all of us were there together just about every night. Again, thank you very much. One of the things that Marnie said that I believe is true for all of us. We were fortunate, we are fortunate to live in this country, to live in a country that has a free enterprise system that allows us to do what we want, to have the dreams that we have, and to provide us with an opportunity to accomplish them. I just wanted to mention one thing before I get off the stage, and that is that all of us run into a bunch of luck during our lifetimes, and that applies particularly, it's particularly the case in business. Some of that luck is good luck, and some of that luck is bad luck. And the people who are successful, in my experience, tend to be able to deal with the good luck and the bad luck, and to move through it and with it to build successful lives and successful businesses. And of course, we were lucky to be born here or to live here, and we were enabled because of the enterprise system, and we should thank our lucky stars that we're able to come out tonight and honor people like Jim and Gene. So thanks so much.
So congratulations once again to Mr. Jeff Brotman. To help me with our next, yes, go ahead, absolutely. To help me with our next laureate presentation, please welcome a recent high school graduate from Linwood High School, Megan Longfellow. So welcome, Megan. So how does it feel to be a recent high school graduate? And by the way, this is April. This isn't normal graduation time.
No. Yes, I actually graduated in the first semester this year. But it feels amazing. Many of the junior achievement people here tonight know my full story. So if you knew what it took for me to accomplish this, you would know how truly special and amazing this really is.
It sounds like like you have a story. Do you want to share some of that tonight?
Brad, I have no problem sharing my story with others. In order to appreciate where I am now, you have to know a little bit of where I came from. You see, like so many other kids, I've made some bad choices. I am determined to take responsibility for mine. I dropped out of high school at 13 and spent 2 years battling drug addiction and alcoholism. After 2 treatment centers and the support from my father, a recovering alcoholic, I turned from I hope I have a future to optimism and confidence in my future.
Well, we all make wrong. Yes, how about that?
Thank you.
We all make bad choices from time to time, but it's great to know you've learned from those and you've got such a bright future ahead of you. It seems like you turned your life around. What did you do to make that happen?
Mr. Tilden, Brad.
Brad.
Sorry,
I told her
no,
earlier, Mr. Tilden is my dad. Yeah.
Brad, I was so fortunate to end up surrounded by amazing mentors. My teacher, Mr. Ide, once again, Mr. Ide, I don't know where you are, but thank you. He took me under his wing and he got me involved in junior achievement, where I have been blessed to have multiple mentors, people who are guiding me and influencing my life for the better every day. Today, my life could not be better. There are so many people here tonight that have encouraged me and mentored me, like Kevin Ruoff, a JA board member, and also the district manager of Fred Meyer got me a job with Fred Meyers. Thank you. And I will always be thankful to another JA board member from Taco Bell, Mr. David Orm. I know he's not here tonight, but he awarded me with a $20,000 scholarship to a school of my choice to pursue my dreams. So thank you.
Mentors are so critical at all stages of life. I even have a couple of mentors myself, as well as a couple of folks that I mentor. Have you ever been in the role of a mentor, Megan?
Yes, Brad, as a matter of fact, I have been in the role of a mentor. I get to go with Junior Achievement to teach the JA elementary school programs to elementary school. I love seeing them learn and connect what I am teaching them to their life and their future success in school. I tell them to study hard and stay in school, and your dreams can become a reality.
That's good advice, Megan. Thanks very much, and thanks for sharing a little bit of your story.
Of course. Thank you. I am the one to whom so much has been given. I have been given great direction from my mentors, and because of that, I plan on being a JA mentor for the rest of my life.
We're going to hold her to it.
Yes. Just like our next laureate, Mr. Jim Senegal. He has been a mentor to countless others based on the mentorships he experienced. As co-founder of Costco, he learned first by experience, then stayed true to a set of principles that changed the way America shops.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen and we'll learn a little bit more about Mr. Jim Senegal.
Costco co-founder Jim Senegal comes from working class roots in Pittsburgh.
You know, when I reflect back on my childhood, it was a happy childhood. My father was a laborer. He worked in the coal mines and in the steel mills of Pittsburgh when I was a boy.
After his family moved to Southern California, Jim attended San Diego State University.
You know, would I have been successful without having had that college education? I doubt it. I think it made an impact on me. Certainly it made me a smarter person, made me wiser. It exposed me to a lot of what was going on in the world. But I have to say that my experience at work was also a learning experience. As I was going to college, I always had jobs, part-time jobs, and one of these jobs turned out to be working for a company called FedMart that had only been open for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it was a temporary job, only supposed to be 1 day, and I wound up staying 23 years. And Saul Price, who was the chief executive officer of the company, was a significant impact on my life. He was the smartest man I've ever known in my life. He was also one of the toughest people I've ever known. He was my mentor. Had I ever said to Saul, Saul, you're my mentor. He probably would have said something very eloquent like, cut the crap, kid, and get back to work.
I've known Jim Sinegal for 18 years, since the very first day I was president at Seattle University. In fact, I remember him handing out hot dogs at my inauguration.
Well, when you meet Jim, you can sense his passion for the industry and his commitment and his personality were very compelling.
When Jim met Jeff Brotman, they hit it off and decided to create a business together.
You know, and when we're going through the process and thinking about what it was we wanted to do, we were literally making notes on napkins about how we would do it, and what we would do, and drawing up P&L summaries and everything. And so yeah, the thing just kind of evolved as time went on. We came up with more ideas. Every time we met, we came up with a new idea on one of the things that we would do until we finally solidified the whole process and put together a business plan.
The Costco idea was very exciting because it involved a certain number of principles that really, heretofore, had really not been utilized.
Jim operates on a set of very few clear principles, and he just holds to them really very adamantly. He's worked his way up from the bottom. He knows what the business is about, and he sticks with what he knows is the right thing to do.
Seattle stood out for a couple of reasons. First of all, Jeff was from here, so we knew a lot of people here, and we wound up raising about half of our money from Southern California and half of our money from up here in the Northwest. We were starting our business at exactly the right time. We were able to get quality people, and that really is essential. We got a lot of great people working for us, and the concept was well received. As we were growing, as we were attracting more and more quality people who wanted to come to work for us, it gave us some assurance that we were going to be able to grow the business successfully.
You know, what really made it work is that they had certain principles that were very compelling. Not having carpets on the floor, having merchandise stacked to the ceiling, having fresh food, having $1.50 hot dogs and Coke.
And so we decided that if we could develop a reputation for having pricing authority, meaning that every time a customer came in and they saw a product on the shelf, that they were going to assume that if it was at Costco, it was the best price they were going to be able to find. And anybody can sell merchandise for low prices. The trick is to be able to sell for low prices and also make a profit. The quality of people that we have in our organization dwarfs everything else. We have a wonderful working staff at every level of our company. And people comment to us all the time about the quality of the people. They are amazed that a retailer is able to get the quality of people that we have.
Jim Sinegal co-founded and helped lead the second largest retail company in the United States. And he's helped to develop and bring along a whole new generation of leaders for our region.
I guess I would close with two comments for the junior achievers out there. One would be, if you can find a mentor, do so. It made a difference in my life, and it will make a difference in your life. I highly recommend it. And secondly, get yourself involved in something that you can become truly passionate about. If you're involved in something that becomes drudgery, then run. Don't walk as fast as you can someplace else. If you're really passionate about what you do, you'll never have to work another day in your life.
He learned to stay true to his principles from a great mentor who would certainly be proud of what his protege accomplished. 2015 laureate, Jim Sinegal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2015 laureate, Mr. Jim Sinegal.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a wonderful honor, and I can't tell you how pleased I am. Jeff and I are both very surprised that we got it, but we're going to keep it. So, you know, I would go back, I think, to something that I think it was Marnie said also, that oftentimes the laureates are more inspired by the junior achievers than they are by people that they work with in business, and that's true. I mean, I was so inspired by Megan tonight and her story and how she's going to do. So that's, you know, that's reward enough to have an opportunity to see and meet and mentor people like that. Jeff mentioned luck, and anybody who is in business who doesn't recognize that they've had some good fortune somewhere along the way has to be a fool. We had our share of it, believe me. As I tell the story oftentimes, we were ready to open our first Costco down on 4th Avenue South, and we got a call from the city that they were closing the bridge right next to us for 18 months. And I called the city and I said, "You can't do this." And they said, "Of course we can." We're, you know, with the city. It turns out we got a reprieve, and they didn't close it for about 6 weeks. It was enough to get us started, believe it or not. That sounds like a crazy deal, and I wouldn't want to go through that again. And Jeff and I have a lot of scar tissue in our stomachs over that. The other thing that I would mention is that we talked a lot, Jeff mentioned, and John Meisenbaum mentioned the fact that we had these cocktail napkins. We were not drinking that much, guys, but we had these cocktail napkins, and we were doing the business plan. And our original business plan, and we're asked all the time, did you ever dream you were going to be as big a company as you are? Because today there are 674 Costco's. And our original business plan that we raised the money on, we had plans for 12 Costco's. We thought we could eventually grow to 12. And so when we're asked that question, oftentimes Jeff will say, he always knew we'd be 674. It was my lack of vision that. So thank you very much. We're honored by this.
How about one more round of applause for Mr. Jim Sinegal? Thank you. And before we recognize our final laureate tonight, we have one very special honor to bestow, and it's the coveted Stanley O. McNaughton Award. To announce this year's recipient, we're pleased to invite back to the stage President of JA of Washington, David Moore, as well as a very special guest and friend, the son of Stanley O. McNaughton, Stan McNaughton. Please welcome David Moore and Stan McNaughton to the stage.
Hi, sir. How are you? Thanks, Brad. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight and present this award. It's my page turner here. The McNaughton Award singles out leaders whose actions and commitments reflect the legacy of my father, Stanley O. McNaughton. Those of us here, and there's actually probably quite a few still, that knew my father can personally attest to his values, his virtues, and his visionary leadership. He was one of the co-founders of PEMCO. But he was also a guy who really liked to have fun, and he too had his story. He was the oldest of 11 kids, no dad, and he had to be the dad at very desperate times in life, and so he would have his story like many of their kids here. But more importantly, he really believed in JA. He was David, you knew him well, always a believer in what goes on there. And then when he passed away, this award was set out to honor that legacy. In particular, some of the things he really stood for, like you hear here. And he was a guy, like some of the stories you hear tonight, that had all these quotes all the time. And the employees put together a whole book of quotes that he lived by, and these were his guiding principles. And I picked out 3 tonight that I'm going to say, and I want you to hang on to these, and we'll talk about, you'll see why they're applicable to the person who gets the award tonight. And the first one goes like this: multiply your strength by the number of people around you. Make them look good, be successful, and of value to others. You will never have to worry about your own success. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. And winners never quit, only a few make the difference. The past McNaughton Award recipients include such luminaries as John Stanford, Herb Bridge, George Russell, Michael Towers, Bo Dickey, Barry and Ginger Ackerley, and most recently, John Stanton.
The McNaughton Award has been given to an individual based not on one single concept or principle. Obviously, your father had many principles that he lived by. It does not recognize one single gift or one single action, but it's a lifetime of working within our community. So with that in mind, it is my particular honor to join you tonight to present this award to tonight's recipient.
So this is the fun part. As a matter of fact, the recipient sitting here tonight does not know that he's going to get the award. He's unaware of this. So I think you will all agree that tonight's McNaughton Award winner is indeed a worthy recipient of this award. I know this person personally. And as president of U.S. Bank, Richard Davis said, this man is an icon in the Seattle business community, as well in the nonprofit sector that he and his wife so ardently support. And it's great pleasure to announce the 2015 McNaughton Award recipient is Mr. Ken Kirkpatrick.
We're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done. Just
We're not
stand right
done.
there.
Yeah,
No, don't go back.
Yeah,
Don't go
there's,
back.
You're in the running.
Yeah,
There's
we gotta
two
tell a little
others.
story. Yeah, that's true, really. So your education started in 1970 when he received Junior Achievement's Mr. Everything, an award that's only ever had one award winner. That's true. He's a graduate of the University of Washington with a degree in finance and has completed programs at the prestigious Kellogg Executive Program at Northwestern University.
I can tell you that Ken's first job was at People's Bank. That after he met at Junior Achievement Conference and after a JA Awards celebration, the president of People's Bank went up to Kenny, said he's a great young man, he ought to come by tomorrow, and he was going to give him a job. So Ken showed up the next day looking for that job that he had been offered, and they hired him. And then the next day they fired him. They said, you're too young, we can't bond you.
Right.
And so the president again stepped in and he said, you know, he's a good kid, he's a junior achievement student. I think we should keep him on some way. And the rest is history. Eventually, Ken became the president of Junior Achievement. I said that in rehearsal.
He became the president of U.S.
Bank of Washington. Yeah.
The chairman of the JA board.
And chairman of the JA board.
So I also wanted to say, because I think this is important, that in June of 2011, all of you who know Ken know that he was diagnosed with an aggressive brain tumor. Through his surgery, through his chemotherapy, and through radiation, he was determined. He kept coming into the office 2 days a week. And today, that tumor is in remission. He continues, yes.
And winners never quit.
Yeah. So he continues to be involved in the community. He's done so much for Junior Achievement, so much for this entire community, many, many things.
And Ken has been married to his childhood sweetheart, Sasa. Yeah, for 40 years. And stand up, Sasa.
Sasa, join us up on stage.
Come on, join us up on the stage.
Come on.
Okay.
Did you say 4 years or
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
We got that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And together, they've really been inspiration to many, many people, if not millions. This is where we give you the award, and you get to say your acceptance speech.
Oh, okay, great. Well,
After a picture, we'll step right over here for a picture.
Let's all get in here.
all right. Well, thanks for the lack of warning. And it's so nice to see Jim, you, and Jeff, and Gene. I know all you guys, and you all deserve this very, very much. So I don't mean to get in the middle of this. I don't know how I did. But I do want to, where's Brad Tilden? You're over here, right? Brad, stand up. I'm not going to get by without saying something about Alaska Airlines, because I think we really, you guys know this, we really need to support these guys. They're our local airline.
They do everything for us. Sasa and I are traveling all the time, and we never go anywhere but Alaska. They're incredible. Your people are awesome. And this is the group of people you need to make sure they all have Alaska as their number one choice when the employees fly. So thank you for being our local airline and doing all that you do for the community too, Brad. U.S. Bank table over here, you guys are awesome. We're just so proud to be part of the community. And I would say that as far as junior achievement goes, I started JA when I was 14, and I have been involved ever since, either working for JA or serving on the board. So how many years is that? Oh, I was the janitor. I started out as a janitor. That's how I worked my way through college.
First men's bathroom.
Got to see the first men's bathroom. That's right, because that was one of our early dates. Women's bathrooms are so much dirtier, by the way. You wouldn't know that till you did it. But anyways, it was it was great. So thank you, Junior Achievement. They really do. Nobody said it yet, but JA changes people's lives. They changed my life, starting there as just a little kid, being hired by the bank, fired my first day, like David mentioned, and becoming president 32 years later. So there you go. Thank you, everyone.
Incredible. Ken, thank you very much, and a huge congratulations to you and Sasa. So now to introduce tonight's final laureate, please welcome our next student presenter to the stage. She's a high school senior and also a college sophomore, and you met her earlier in the evening. Please join me in welcoming back Daniela Murguia. Daniela told me you're 4'11" and 3/4?
And a quarter.
4'11" and 1/4.
And 1/4.
Okay, gotcha. Hello, Daniela. We heard your story, and it was quite a story of a huge dream and being inspired by JA to continue the dream. So it sounds like you're well on your way to fulfilling your dreams and your parents' dream of a college education.
Yes, Mr. Tilden?
Brad.
Brad, okay. All right, Mr. Tilden. So yes, Mr. Tilden, no, I'm kidding, Brad. I am so excited to make my parents very proud, to make my parents very proud of me, and getting the chance to be in the Running Start program and will make this dream come true sooner than I ever thought possible. That is why I am still in high school and college, and thanks to the Tackable Scholarship. JA has created so many opportunities for me, and thanks to JA, I continue to dare to dream big dreams because they can come true, just like they did for our next laureate.
Yes, they did come true for our next laureate. I understand you have more in common with our next laureate besides your background and making your dreams come true.
Well, Mr. Brad, actually, it is my mother who has more in common with our next laureate. She too had a dream of owning her own styling salon, and guess what? She made her dreams come true as well.
So was she excited that you'll be introducing her? Was she excited that you'll be making this next introduction?
Well, Mr. Brad, excited is not quite the word. He was an inspiration to her. He definitely is Mr. Hair to those in the industry, so she could not wait to see. She was disappointed that she wasn't able to attend tonight to meet him.
It seems the motto of our next laureate is as applicable to you, your mom, and to people from all walks of life.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you're going. In 2015 laureate Gene Juarez, you've definitely gone very, very far. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen and we'll learn more about Mr. Juarez.
Gene Juarez Juarez, Seattle's Mr. Hare, grew up in a family of migrant farm workers. They finally settled in the town of Wapato in the Yakima Valley.
Mother and father were from Mexico. Started having a family. We did farm labor and followed the crops, migrated to Wyoming, and then moved to Wapato. I'm the youngest of 6, 4 brothers and 1 sister. I was raised in a shoebox in the field. And of course, all the kids would, whenever I would cry, I always got fed because they could leave work. So I was spoiled to begin with.
Gene is an amazing guy in Seattle that just, started his business like a lot of people did, but Gene's background and his entrepreneurship, he created not only a business but a national brand.
He's the most prominent beauty salon owner in the Seattle area, as well as internationally known in the beauty business, with 8 salon spas, 2 beauty schools, and an advanced training center.
Well, Gene is all about the people. He's all about his employees. He's all about customer service. He's the Nordstrom of hair salons in the city of Seattle.
Wapato is a beautiful community, and yet I knew I couldn't make a living there. My father's dream was that I would have an indoor job, and he meant a warehouse. I expected more, so I looked into occupations, figured out that hairdressing was available, and I set a goal to come to Seattle and become Mr. Hare.
I think Gene's unique talents are his people skills. Gene definitely has a passion for his business, his salons, but more importantly, he touches people, he has relationships, and by that I mean not just customers, but the people that work for Gene Juarez were really part of that organization, part of that culture.
You know, I think Gene was successful as a startup because of lots of things, but number one, he knew immediately as a young boy, as a young man in high school, what and who he wanted to be. He wanted to be the best at whatever he did. Secondly, when he came into the business, he shared that vision with all of us who worked for him, and we were much more forceful and powerful and successful because of that. We knew what Gene wanted from his own company.
I always got into the profession to be an entrepreneur. In fact, I wanted to work with people, work with my hands, do something creative, and to be recognized for it. It was 10 years I spent working in the business before I finally decided I was ready.
What makes Gene successful as a businessman is his determination, his loyalty, his reputation, his quality, his ultimate desire to not give up.
I think one of Gene's really core strengths is his ability to work and want to develop people. And that really goes to employees, but it also goes to friends. And I think this is demonstrated in not only the success of his business, but the fact that he went on to start a school. So he not only had these salons, but he put all these people out into the industry with the same methods and just the mentality and the culture of Gene Juarez.
I always believe I'm a hairdresser who knows how to make money, who knows how to create a place where people will give me their money so I can give them a service. And the balance between those two is really the real trick.
I think Gene left a terrific impact at the city of Seattle business-wise. His impact is the fact that he started with one store, like I started with one store, and then he ends up with over 1,300 employees. That's a tremendous impact on the economy in Seattle.
We created jobs, we created opportunity, we created professionalism that hadn't been here before. We contributed their 401ks. They bought homes, they sent their kids to college, and I got to witness and see all of that happen in my lifetime.
Gene's approach to success, most people consider that in economic terms, big deal, making lots of money. And I think the unique thing about Gene Juarez is his definition of success was his vision and his mission within his industry, and he wanted to be the best. And he was that, and did that, and is that.
Mine move from Wapato to becoming Mr. Hare in Seattle was a dream. But it divided up into small little goals that piled up on each other so that the dream was a reality. So Dare to dream as big as you want and make it come true.
Gene's story shows us that to be successful in business, it doesn't matter where you come from, if you know where you want to go. 2015 laureate, Gene Juarez.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gene Juarez, 2015 laureate.
Wow, what a great job, Jim and Glenda and Jimmy Joe. What a great job you've done on the video. I just, it's really very humbling. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the previous laureates, Jeff Brotman and Jim Sinegal. I'm very honored to be inducted with you. Thank you. Marnie Hughes and Brad, Mr. Brad, David Moore and Daniela, thank you very much. You know. I had thought I would do a whole different speech, so I'm just going to ad-lib that what I felt tonight. Daniela, when you spoke, it reminded me very much of some of the things I went through when I was a young man and growing up as a Hispanic in Eastern Washington. And I'm glad to see so many young mixed races here represented in junior achievement, because that's where our nation is going. And I want to encourage all of us to assimilate that, you know, and embrace that. I didn't realize how close the cultures that I tried to build in Gene Juarez were to Costco.
Oh, beautiful.
Till I got to hear today more deeply. I care passionately about what we do, but I cared equally about the people that made it happen. A lot of people who made Gene Juarez what it is, I owe a great deal of debt to, because they're the ones who dug the well. They're the ones who I can't be more thankful to that really got it started. And I really owe a great deal of gratitude to them. I've been blessed by the community. I've been blessed by, you know, Junior Achievement and the Puget Sound Business Journal and the honorary the selection committee for the award. I've been blessed with great friends that are represented here that came from all over, and I'm so proud of that. I really tried to say that in my video, where I really dream a lot about what our country is going to become. And I think when I look at youth today, I'm even more hopeful that they understand that it isn't just about economics. It's about how we treat each other, how we create cultures. That are not driven just by dollars, but they're driven between the balance of dollars and humanity, and helping people grow and become. And it's just not the shareholders. And I think Costco really does an excellent job in that. And I'd like to encourage more of that in entrepreneurship in the United States. I've been blessed to be re-raised in this community. I've been blessed to be raised in the United States.
And I just want to thank every one of my tables that came and supported me, and Gene Juarez and Mike Malone and Maria Smeraldi and Jim Tweeten table. There's so many people, and of course, I've been blessed with my family. I'm really proud of them, who they are, what they've become, and to watch them grow and live here and learn a little bit more about the legacy. It's really hard to talk to your children about what it was like when you were growing up, the decisions you had to make and the choices you had to do. But I love you guys. I want to, thank my was-wife for supporting her husband with constant encouragement through all of the changes that we've gone through, but she held the family together, and we worked hard to do that, and they're all here, and I can't be more thankful than that. But I'm really honored. Thank you again very much for this. I'm accepting this for my industry, the hairdressers, the beauty industry, Hispanics, minorities, and the underprivileged. I couldn't be more thankful. One last thing, my beautiful daughter, Antonia, wanted me to mention her. Thank you.
Well, this has been a fabulous evening. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight every person in this room has been a part of something very special. We've inducted 3 new laureates into the Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame. These laureates inspire us and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. Again, congratulations to each of these laureates, their families, and their friends. Now let's welcome our MC, Marnie, back to the stage.
Those are some tough acts to follow, so I'm going to do my best to wrap this up. Congratulations to each of our laureates tonight, and for your speeches. I think that I know that I leave inspired by some of the things you said today, and more so by the principles that you live by, and those that you instill in the people who work with you and around you and your family. So I thank you for that. And also to Brad Tilden and to the many JA students, we appreciate all that you did tonight. I think that's one of my favorite things is when they interact, and I think the students really shine, and so do our chairs. So thank you, Brad. A round of applause to our laureates and to Mr. Tilden. I would like to once again thank our distinguished sponsors and all of our past laureates who are here tonight, and also those who cannot be with us. The 2015 Puget Sound Business Hall of Fame is going down in history, and I look forward to seeing so many of you here again next year. And I would like to welcome back to the stage now Lily Lee. She sang for you earlier, and this is part of a tradition with the Hall of Fame each year, if you've been here before, but we like to end, and I think it was kind of a theme tonight about how proud we are with our country, living in the United States, being able to have success in business and dream our dreams and to pick what we want to do. We are so privileged. And so we end each year with America the Beautiful. And Lily's voice is truly beautiful. So she's going to come back up. And I would also like to bring back up our laureates, our 2015 laureates. So Jim, Jeff, and Jean, if you would come up. And we'll have Lily start us out. And then, as is tradition, we would like for you to join in and sing America the Beautiful as we kind of wrap up tonight's evening. I think it's a great way to summarize what we've done tonight. And while everyone comes up on stage, you know, one thing that many of you, it's Thursday night, so many of us will work tomorrow. But if someone tonight or tomorrow says, "What'd you do last night?" I encourage you to share a story that you maybe captured tonight. Maybe it's one of the JA students, maybe it's one of the laureate speeches, maybe it's somebody that you sat with and felt inspired. But try to capture that moment, because I know we all attend many events and hear amazing speeches, but let something go with you tonight and inspire you. You're never too old to have a mentor. I may have found a few tonight as well. So I thank you for being here, and now Lily.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
He said I ruined it. That's not the first time. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy your night. Drive safely. We appreciate it. And to all of those who helped put tonight together, David and Joanne and Brett, we appreciate the Puget Sound Business Journal and also JA, and everybody for being here tonight. Have a great evening. Congratulations to our laureates.
Good job. Good job. Thank you. We got a couple big moments tonight.